Yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Big Wavy Roy Johnson here.
Hello everyone, this is the interview queen Alicia too.
This is the infamous Cameron Solis.
This is the professional Nathan Cruz.
This is Benji.
This is the Callahan Death Machine in the draw, and the face of Impact Wrestling, Sammy Callahan.
The one and only chocolate under Willie Mack.
This is Shreddy Breck, aka Mr. Clangin' and Bangin'.
And you're listening.
You are listening to
Broken but Glorious.
Broken but Glorious.
Broke but glorious. Hey, yeah.
Hello, welcome to Turnchuckle on bbgwrestling.com. I'm Chris Lappin. I'm delighted to be joined by Alfie Brooks. How are you doing this afternoon, Alfie?
Hey, yeah, I'm not bad, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a bit hay fevery, so if I sniff a bit during the interview, I'll try and cut out as many as I can, but I'm alright. So, how are you surviving lockdown?
Yeah, we're getting through. It's getting a bit boring after so long, but just keeping busy.
Yeah. Are you usually in college, or do you have a job?
No, normally I've got a job. I clean caravans. That's probably not that exciting, but I'll do that. I don't really miss that, to be honest. But
no.
I'm gonna.
Have you been binging any?
I got away lucky with that one because I went for my first shift and we did 2 hours and then they sent us home. And now I'm getting a load for full pay.
Cool. Have you been binging any series you can recommend to the listeners? Or?
Well, I have actually. What's the name of it? I've been watching Breaking Bad quite a bit, but that's quite a normal one.
Yeah.
It's
still something I haven't seen yet. So I'm gonna have to get on.
There's a really good one about. You might know what it's called. It's about superheroes, but they're living another life. And there's this one that's really fast, and he runs through a girl, and she dies, and it's a bit weird, but it's a good series.
All right. No, I can't think what it's called. Cool. Yeah, we've just got Disney Plus, so we're loving The Mandalorian, and we've been trying to entertain a 14-year-old and a 4-year-old at the same time. So we've been watching lots of Pixar and Disney and stuff. So. What about on the wrestling side? Have you been watching much? So.
Oh yeah, wrestling's that's what's keeping me going. Just watching loads of wrestling.
Yeah.
Not being able to train or just wrestling in general's really tough, but I think watching wrestling's keeping.
You got any matches or pay-per-views you've watched that you could recommend? Or?
See, normally I try not to just watch regular good matches because I've seen a lot of the 5-star matches that people think are really good and stuff, and they are really good. But I've been trying to watch just really random wrestling that you wouldn't think to watch because I'm trying to look for little small things and things I can take away from it. But maybe that's just me being a bit weird.
Yeah, we just trying random rubbish that a 4-year-old will like. So he likes lots of WCW stuff. It's the free-ringed 60-man battle royals. He loves them, even though they're terrible to watch. And
they're so entertaining.
The Mega Powers versus the what's he called? The Alliance to End Hulkamania. They're in a free-leveled cage to beat 2 people in each room. Oh, it's his favourite match of all time. But again, it's a terrible match. But I think he just likes elimination type matches.
There was
he's 4, so.
There was a match I watched not too long ago, and it was from the 80s or the 90s, and it was these 2 guys, and I think it must have been in one of the territory things. I still don't understand that really, by the way. I don't understand what that was, but I think it was around then. And the match is just funny, and the finish to it, he does this do you know, the Karate Kid where he goes for the kick?
Yeah.
Does that and just toe pokes this guy in the face. The finish. It's really funny, and I'll try and find the match and send you after this because I've got no idea.
Yeah, definitely, and I'll put it in the description for the listeners to look at. Right, so how long have you been a wrestling fan?
Oh, since I was little. I don't think I can't remember the time where I first watched wrestling. I was yeah, that's cool. I've just always had wrestling be a thing.
Cool. I was going to say who was your favourite wrestler growing up? So.
I'm just the biggest wrestling fan.
Cool.
To be honest.
Was there one particular wrestler you loved growing up?
Oh, Jeff Hardy, 100%.
Yeah.
He was the reason I wanted to wrestle.
Every teenager or guy in their 20s I've interviewed is either Jeff Hardy or maybe Stereo with their favourite wrestlers.
Always one.
Yeah, it must be about 80% of people say one of them too. So what prompted you to don a tights to get into the ring?
Well, actually, like, I went to a wrestling show, like a small independent show. It's Basics Wrestling.
Yeah.
I went to watch one of them shows when I was about 6, 7, with my mum and my dad, and they had the wrestling school.
All right. Okay.
So I joined them like when I was really young. Like I think I was like I must have been about 7, 8,
Wow.
and then I wrestled a couple of years like that when I was quite young. I think I did like one show, and then I stopped wrestling for a few years.
Yeah.
And then it was about a little bit over 2 years ago now that I came back and started wrestling again, training stuff, and then it's just grown from there. Like, it went from something that I tried to do like to stay fun, and when I went back to it, I fully got into it again. And I was just like, "This is cool."
Was Jeff Hardy who you wanted to like mold your style around when you started training?
Oh yeah, like we used to have these sessions at training where we'd go on Sundays, where it'd be like the younger kids training, but we'd get to use the crash mats. So me and my friend would go down, and we'd just spend hours doing like swantons.
Wow. That's awesome. So did you have an idea of a character you wanted to be when you started?
No, like I still don't think I do now. This is something I've been looking at because I'm just sort of like me. I'm just there. Like I just wrestle.
Yeah. So I've watched a couple of your matches, and they seem very lucha based.
Oh, I love lucha.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn more lucha stuff, and I'm hoping in the next few months that I can maybe go and learn some lucha down, because I think London have the London School of Lucha Libre, don't they?
Yes.
And I'm hoping to go down there and learn some more lucha stuff because I think it's really cool.
Oh, amazing.
But yeah, that's just what it is at the moment. I'm just sort of doing that.
What do your friends and family think about your wrestling?
I get quite a few of them sort of like weird looks and comments and stuff, and I tell people, and they're like, "Oh, you wear like tights and
Yeah.
stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's about as weird. It's probably weirder than it sounds, if I'm going to be honest, but that's what I do."
So what, are you 16, 17?
Yeah, I turned 17. Was it 7 days ago?
Oh, wow. Oh, happy belated birthday. So what's the perception of wrestling amongst people your age?
So yeah, I think it depends. I think if you're there's some people that like remember it from when they were younger and like it, but aren't really into it. And then there's some people that just don't really like it because they think it's sort of like it's just fake, and you know what I mean. But then I think there's some people that are really into it.
Yeah.
And I think that's good.
My kids are into it. Yeah, definitely. I was going to say, them same people who don't like it because it's fake, I bet they all love Avengers.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's one of them. There was a lad in my class in school, and he used to love wrestling, and like he was like the biggest wrestling fan ever. He watched everything, and I was like, "That's cool." I'm like, I wish I knew half as much about wrestling as he did.
Yeah. So what age did you have your first like one-on-one match or tag team match?
The first match I had,
yeah,
that was a singles match actually, and the Basics Wrestling do this sort of these charity shows 3 times a year, I think it is.
Yeah.
Where they sort of put some of their trainees on the show, so they'll sort of give them experience a bit, and like the families come and all the money goes to charity and stuff. And it's just good for like the trainees to like get show time and stuff, and that's where I had my first show. And I wrestled Morgan Daly, which I tag with him now, so
yeah,
that kind of went full circle.
Yeah, well, what's the name of the team?
This is a funny story. It's not a funny story, it's a terrible story, but basically we got told we were tagging together.
Yeah.
We were at a training session at Fighting Spirit. So
right, cool.
we weren't like looking at our phones or anything, and then we finished, and we saw that 3 hours ago we'd had a message saying we were tagging together and they needed a name for the graphic. So because we didn't get back to them, they just decided we were TN Gen, because it's like the next generation, and that's what we are now. Stuck as.
Right, so TN Gen.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
Could be worse. Like, well,
so do you find it difficult getting outside bookings because of your age?
a little bit, 'cause it's hard to sort of like get around to places. A lot of the places that are good for meeting people and like these good shows are sort of, because I live in quite a random place. Like it's not near anything. It's not like near a city or anything.
No.
so it's quite a drive. But I'm also quite lucky that I started training with a lad. Do you know? I think you might have interviewed Andy Knox.
Yes.
Paradox, yeah.
Yeah.
I trained with him, and he started taking me to different training schools and like shows and stuff, and like meeting up lots of new people and learning new stuff. And I think that was really helpful actually, because otherwise I think it would have been more difficult to get to them sort of places.
Yeah, I tried to watch one of your matches of Andy today, but the quality of the video was so bad I just couldn't make it. It was some guy in blue pants, one person in black pants. I couldn't tell who was who. And I was like,
oh no, some of the footage on YouTube isn't the best. I'm not gonna lie.
So have you ever been starstruck walking into a dressing room?
I did ring crew for, do you know, TNT's DOA, the deathmatch tournament.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm like a huge deathmatch guy. Like that's like my favorite wrestling.
Yeah.
So like that was crazy for me, because these are people that like I've just loved for ages, because I thought like these are the coolest deathmatch wrestlers going, and like they were just there, and I was like, whoa, that's kind of cool. I didn't want to be like, you're cool, but like Ricky Shane Page is there, and you're like, he's sick.
So a more hardcore style, something you'd want to go into eventually?
Definitely. Like, I'm not exactly the most, like, I'm not the person you'd expect to want to do that, I don't think. Like, I don't look like most people that want to do that sort of stuff, but that's just always what I've liked, and like deathmatch wrestling's the coolest thing in the world to me.
Yeah, because Triple H has been very open that he dislikes hardcore wrestling, and he once described like CCW as trash, and some magazines talk about like hardcore wrestling being bad for the sport. How do you feel about like comments like that? So.
See, I think I kind of get where they're coming from. I do. Like, I understand it. But for me, I grew up watching ECW a lot. And I've just always thought that stuff was really cool. And maybe some of it doesn't really make as much sense as you'd hope, that like people are taking these insane bumps and stuff and they're fine. But I think people sort of know that it's not 100% like, you know.
Yeah.
Like people aren't actually competing to win. So I think it can be good, because it can really sort of gain new fans, because people are interested in deathmatch wrestling that may not be interested in normal wrestling.
Yes, there seems to be a definitely different fan bases.
So I think overall it probably is quite positive for just wrestling in general.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know, maybe they're saying it's bad for WWE.
Oh yeah, I don't think I can imagine.
Maybe, yeah. But it's coming out of Triple H as well, so he's probably thinking wrestling. When he says sports, he means WWE. So I think hardcore or deathmatch wrestling can be a bit of an art form, because you can get like a really great storyline out of something so violent, and then you need like the technical skill to make it look like it hurts so much, and to be so safe that it looks like you really hurt someone, but you're not at all.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I think it's a different level of emotion that you can feel from them matches.
Yeah.
Because of how violent they can be sometimes. Like, I remember at DOA, there was 2 matches in particular. I think it was Ricky Shane Page versus Charlie Evans. Was a really good match, and that was just, like, the story they told was incredible. I think it was them 2, I might be wrong, but there was some sort of match like that. Yeah. And it was really good. And then the main event was Clint Margera, who's now, I think, isn't he doing Tournament of Death?
I'm not sure.
And he wrestled.
Yeah.
He was just brilliant, and I think he's great at what he does.
Cool. So if your opponent goes into the ring and brings out a bag, would you want it to be drawing pins in there or Lego? Or what would you not want it to be?
To be honest, I think I'd go with drawing pins over Lego, because
yeah.
I think Lego would probably hurt a bit more.
Yeah. So yeah, I've seen a couple of matches involving Lego the last couple of years.
That gets
the
me.
welts that leaves on people's backs. Some promotions encouraged fans to bring weapons to show. Have you ever been involved in one of them shows?
Yeah, they did that at the DOA one. I wasn't on the show, but it's like just being ring crew. Like, it was really funny to see. Like, that's where I've got, like, that's as close I've been to deathmatch stuff, really, especially because of my age. But like, I think it's cool, and just that experience was cool.
Cool. What were some of the weapons that was involved in?
They brought everything, you know. And like, we were just finding random things. Like there was a computer with like a full monitor and everything, and not like a new computer, like an old one with the big bulky ones.
Big back, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Wow.
that was in the ring. We was like, what? And then they had like a bat with, do you know, fun snaps, like the things you throw and they bang.
Yes.
They had like a bat with them all like sellotape to it. So when I think someone got hit on the head with it, it all went bang. It was cool.
That's amazing.
People are getting creative.
Yeah. That's at Liverpool, so you've got to think that people.
Oh yeah.
We are a creative bunch. So. Do you have a match you're really looking forward to having when we get back to normal?
I was going to wrestle a lad called Jack Jones, who has only just come back to wrestling after a long while, and he was good.
Yeah.
And I think me and him are quite similar, and I think that would have been quite a fun match to have. So I'm quite disappointed I missed out on that, but I think that's going to come back around sooner rather than later. So I think that'll be fun.
Did you have like a dream of what's going to happen in 2020 and it's not been able to happen?
Just like I've been wrestling on shows for like about a year.
Yeah.
So the first year obviously was like I did quite a lot with doing holiday parks, like wrestling on the holiday parks, which is the most fun you'll ever have. Like nothing beats that. That's just so fun. And then I was quite looking forward to this year because this year was looking pretty good with like bookings wise and getting shows and matches that I was looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
And then that all sort of just like went, oh, maybe next year. But
yeah.
We'll have to see.
So what is the dream? Is
That's what I mean. I'm not trying to like limit myself to like these certain goals that I want time wise. I'm just sort of thinking like this is what I want to do with in the dream world. If I had all the choices, this is what I'd want my career path to look like. So I'll just I'll do what I can do to get it as close to that as possible.
Yeah.
Because two of my big things in wrestling is one is that I want to wrestle in Japan. That's just always been the big one. And then I want to wrestle in death matches. So maybe I can do death matches in Japan and cry and like absolutely die.
I do one of them crazy. Was it? Oh, they had a bomb and they had a shark tank. I can't remember what it was called.
They're insane.
Was it a shark tank death match or something? It was called.
I'd fully die. Like I'd be doing one and I'd just never be wrestling again. But
what advice would you give to somebody looking to get into the business before we go?
I don't know. If anyone's got any, can you give me it, please? Because like I've got no idea what I'm doing. I've got no advice or anything. I'm just sort of like going with the flow. That's about as complex as it gets for me, to be honest.
Okay.
And maybe try and always ask for advice and feedback because whenever I have a match, I tend to try and send it to as many people as I can.
Yeah.
And like just get feedback on it because I want everything, like the minute things, to be fixed. So like I try and send it to people I know that can give me that good feedback. Like I send it to Dan Evans is really good.
Yeah.
And he's one of the smartest people in wrestling. It's just lots of people like that that know what they're talking about.
Yeah, because I interviewed a wrestler called Eric Emmon on about 2 years ago. He says the worst thing anyone could say to a wrestler is great job, that kid, because that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
They say that's like, you want constructive criticism. So.
I think as a wrestler, you're never really going to be happy with a match because it's not going to be perfect, and you're never going to have that perfect match. Like there could always be them little things that could have been better. And I think it's all about, I think wrestling and why it's so, why it's such a big thing for people that are involved is it is sort of, you're looking for that one match that's going to be the match, that's going to be your perfect match. And I just don't think you can ever get it, but we'll keep trying.
Sappin and Dolls, it's Harley Hudson, and you're listening to Broken But Glorious. See ya!
So this will be my last question. Stay promoter for a day, and using wrestlers that you either worked with or trained with, or maybe worked on the show where you've been ring crew. So if I give you a match type, you tell me who you want to put in that match.
Okay.
Okay. So who would be in your opening contest to excite the crowd?
Ooh, I'd probably have Gaz White.
Yes.
And Gaz White and Morgan Daly.
Yes. Cool. What about a comedy match?
A comedy match. I like comedy matches as well, but we'll go with Sugar Dunkerton.
Yes. Friend of the show.
and Big Guns Joe.
Oh, yeah. That'll be a great match. I went to Ignition recently and we had to cheer Joe, and I was like, oh, I've never had to cheer Joe before. He's always been a bad guy when I've ever seen him before.
Was that when he wrestled the CZW guy?
No, real Gauntlet when I went to see Ignition.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I usually go to Wrestle Island, and he's the bad guy there, so we've just been booing him. So it was weird cheering him for once.
I think he's great and he's really funny, so him and Sugar Dunkerton, I think, would be really entertaining.
When Chuck Dunkerton was on AEW the other week, I was like, I don't know, a strange, weird bit of pride. I was like, why am I feeling this pride for this guy? But he's such a nice guy, and he was one of the first guests we ever got on. Like,
oh yeah, I've got his merch when he was over here and did Wrestle Island the first time. Got his like New Japan shirt. 'Cause I think he's really cool. Like, I just think he's a cool person.
Yeah, I've got his white T-shirt on my bottom. Yeah, it's so cool. What about women's title?
I've got to say Harley Hudson.
Yes.
I don't have a choice there because she'll kill me.
She's lovely. I interviewed her backstage at Just Fabulous Wrestling in the end of July, early February.
She's not angry at me at the minute, so I'm hoping putting a good match here, she'll like me. So we'll have Harley Hudson versus Lucia Lee.
Yes.
And then
Yeah,
actually, can we make that a triple threat?
Yes.
Who else we put in there?
It's your promotion. You can make any match you want.
I feel like we didn't have a triple threat, so I thought we had to put one in.
Yeah.
We'll say Rio.
Rio. Well, she's got, that's a three completely different women. That's pretty cool. And then it's probably your favourite match. Then it's the Hardcore Extreme Rules match. So you got to put yourself in this one.
I don't know. I kind of want to watch this one as a fan, though. Like, if I've got this option, I want to watch that. I want Drew Parker versus New Jack.
Oh wow!
Because I think
that'd be amazing.
Drew started wrestling at the same place I did.
Yeah.
When he was quite young, like I was, so that's when he was doing the whole like YOLO squad gimmick. And now he's like dying.
Yeah, he's just recently did Sword Japan, and he's been out in America. And he's doing amazing.
Yeah, he's killing it.
What, your tag team title match?
Right, this is why I've got to book me and Morgan, because he's got to work twice apparently now, but he'll be annoyed. In my tag partner, so it's me and Morgan against. Yeah. Do you know who Big Red is?
Yes.
Big Red and who else? Oh, that's tough. I'll let you pick. You can have the last person because I'm happy.
Last time I saw Big Red, he was teaming with. Just fabulous show he teamed with Ry Lloyd.
We'll have Ry Lloyd as well then.
Cool. And then it's your main event.
We'll have. This is tough. I've got so many matches. I want to just like.
It doesn't have to be 1-on-1. It's your main event. You can have it like a 6-man or.
We'll have. Can we have an X Division match? Like.
Yes, sure. It's your main event. You can do whatever you want with it.
How many people's in that? It's 6, isn't it?
6.
Is it?
It's usually 4 or 6. It's usually an even number.
We'll go with 4 because otherwise I'll run out. And we'll have the OGMO.
Yes, I like him.
Ooh, who else? Lance Rivera.
Yes.
Because I think Lance is amazing.
Yes. Member of our team, yeah.
This is trouble. You're making me think here. We're going with
Andy Knox.
Yeah, well, there you go. We'll have him. Just message me now, as you said that like 1 minute ago.
Yeah.
And then so that's 3.
Yeah.
Connor. We'll have Connor.
Connor. Yes. Brilliant.
This is pretty much just me saying let's book a show and the main event can be Connor.
That's really good. I'd really love to watch that, especially in Ultimate X. Let's throw RJ in there as well.
Didn't I say RJ?
No, he's did you?
He can be in the death match. That can be a triple threat.
Oh wow, yeah, I'd love that. Cool. So before we go, do you want to promote any social media you have?
I'm like at Alfie Brooks with 3 S's on the end on everything. So if you I'd be happy because I'm not doing great. But
Cool. I'll put all links in the description below the interview. So I've really enjoyed having you on today. I'd love to have you on again in the future to
perfect.
when we're all back to normality.
It's been fun, and I can't wait to get back to wrestling and seeing everyone.